Let's talk about State of Origin. So a little bit of back and forth between Madge and Billy throughout the week, Shauna.
Yeah, some funny talk about who's targeting who, and check your history of stuff that's happening. So it's. I don't think there's too much. I think it's more media beat up than anything.
I reckon so too.
Like, yes, Walsh got hit high. We talked about it. Yes, they're going to target him in the sense that they're going to put pressure on him and try to take him off his game. Of course, they need to, especially his kicking game and his run to the line. You want to hit him hard in those occasions, but of course, within the rules. Madge sending some shots that we don't do any of that, blah blah blah, and. Some funny comments, I think, from Gordon saying no one knew what Madge was doing when he was on the pitch, but when Billy was on, you knew what he was doing. So, game planning for a certain player, etc. But then people getting stuck into Billy for lifting the legs a little, showing some cleats and going into tackles.
I was going to say
stop goal lines, but
I think anyone coming out of that Storm era. Possibly not squeaky clean in some of their tactics.
But they also pushed all the boundaries. Like, they put rule sets in to stop stuff that Billy was doing for that reason. But it was a grey area at the time. So,
what sliding into people feet first in the goal was a grey area.
Well, there was no rule for it until they did it, and then they banned it.
It was knees. It was knees.
This is like, hey, if I get away, get away with it. But you got to also, the point of Billy was heavily targeted as a fullback. Go watch CSL try and end his career in 2017. You understand, the bloke did take some big punishment, and an era before HIs and concussions were a thing. He played through probably a bunch of things he probably shouldn't have. So, still ended up an immortal. So I think Billy's
not an immortal yet.
Yeah, but yet I think he will be. He's the best fullback of the last generation. So, I think it was, again, a whole bunch of nothing, really. Just a bit of fun leading up to go into Melbourne for State of Origin.
Let's look at these teams. New South Wales obviously forced to make a bunch of changes. Dylan Edwards comes back in. James Tedesco out.
Forced. I think a couple forced and a couple did they have to.
Well, Dylan Edwards didn't play because he's just quiet, so that's a forced one.
Yeah, that's a forced one. I think, Latrell got to come in, that's forced. You can't pick Joseph. But then we're talking about Moses and then McInnes. Like, they're the Hines and McInnes getting out, like the Paul Sharkies, who have been playing pretty well at Clubland, get pushed out for Connor Watson and Mitch Moses. And we just talked about the Eels being on the bottom of the table. And Moses hasn't really been letting the fire on. He's played, one game since he's back from injury, and it wasn't the best outing for him either in a game they lost. So,
I think given the way that he played in Origin last year and the fact, I feel for Nico here. I don't think, his play was so putrid that he had to be dropped. No. But when this team got announced, I wasn't surprised.
We knew the writing was kind of on the wall. But we feel super bad for Hines.
Well, just watching that Cronulla Dolphins game last weekend as well, just not lighting the world on fire.
I wonder, if he'd kicked that goal, would he get picked?
I'm hoping it's not coming down.
Again, big moment, big game was it tied up or to win the game at that point?
It was to tie it, right footer, right sideline, hadn't missed it at Shark Park. Yeah. Again,
big game moments is what I'm going.
I don't think that. I think the decision was made before that.
Yeah. I wonder if the nail was in the coffin and that whacked it in, essentially. And
went to hit the nail, but it missed.
Yeah.
I feel for Nico because given this has been the bloke's opportunities. 7 minutes last year, he misses a tackle, Queensland score.
Yeah,
doesn't get picked again.
7 minutes into the next game,
something out of his control happens.
They lose.
Someone else 12, gets sent off, and then he struggled to create anything in attack. I feel for him. Having said that, he probably plays Origin again. It's just is it in 2025, 2026? When does Nico?
When Nathan retires.
Kind of goes back to that.
Well, I'm saying it confidently, like he'll play again. Yeah, if Nathan never gets hurt, then maybe he doesn't.
Yeah. His hamstrings get right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel it's unfair that Luai's kind of just completely gone under the radar and out of all this. Hasn't really had any targets been put on his back.
I felt
considering he's also been good at Clubland, but they really didn't do anything in Origin either.
Yeah, I think in attack he looked better than what Nico did in Origin. And I think when he's played without Nathan Cleary at club level over the last month has been really good.
Yeah.
Where there was all those question marks on can he do it without Nathan. Yeah, I think he probably can. But you're right. His head was probably not on the chopping block in the lead up to
no chat at all.
To naming this side.
But, how many points did they generate in game one and where did they come from? I think it was Hines' kick across to set up one try. And
Zach Lomax above his head pretty much was one there. They need to score points. And Moses has got a massive task at hand after missing 10 weeks of footy with a broken foot and come back and have the hopes of New South Wales on his shoulders. Feel for Nico. Hope he wears sky blue again at some stage.
Is it kind of that problem where like we've just got too many options?
Yeah,
you look at these positions as well.
Yeah, you look at the depth of New South Wales. It's like if you name New South Wales second side versus Queensland second side, the Rezzies are a different story. But unfortunately, it's not who plays in reserve grade. There is no such thing.
You got to be able to pick the right team.
Yeah,
pick the team that's going to win.
Yeah, and again, it's the whole pick and stick thing that Queensland does, and New South Wales always chops and changes. You know, maybe that's where someone needs to pat Nico on the back and say, yeah, look, it's hard to go out and command 12 men around to victory, but we're backing you in, and you are our halfback this series where, you know, we're backing you in for game 2 and game 3.
Yep.
I hope it's the right call because I don't want it to go to a dead rubber up in Suncorp in a few weeks.
So what else? Yeah, Yo went to the bench. Cameron Murray comes in. I think that was kind of expected. And then Connor Watson kind of as a surprise 14. What do you think he kind of brings to that maybe McInnes didn't in the switch?
More versatility. So McInnes, I don't think did anything wrong in game 1.
He tackled the house down, really.
41 tackles for 1 miss or something in 40-odd minutes. Does what he does. You know, bloke's got no teeth for a reason because he puts his head where you wouldn't put your hand. I think it's just a versatility thing. And given how much this send-off and the turbo injury in game 2 last year threw New South Wales up shit creek for not having enough versatility. That's probably why Connor comes in. Again, underdone, only had a week back coming back from that throat injury. So it's a lot of pressure for him and Mitch Moses coming back into this. Cam Murray's also coming back after injury. So there's a lot of guys coming in underdone.
Yeah, I think Latrell's played 2 or 3
games?
I
think. Yeah, Latrell's got a few more games under his belt and has essentially been the best player on the field in a few of those games.
Yeah, he's been good the last 2.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it last pod. I think I said as a Blues fan, I don't think there was anyone else really that you could consider. Given that Best had missed times, that Staggs hasn't played the house down by any means.
Yep, agree.
As a Queenslander, does Latrell there at 3, scare you the most out of those options?
I think you understand the talent. It's just the recency sort of side of it as well. South has been dreadful. He's been a big component of that because he's probably a better centre than he is fullback. So
that's also a good point.
Fitting into this role, I think he'll probably do fine. I don't think it's the scariest thing I've seen, but of those options, I think Latrell was the right choice to make.
Yeah, his origin record's really good as well.
Yeah.
So Yo goes to bench. Cam Murray to start at 13, probably game 3 last year, plays into that a little bit. Olakwatu and Leniu keep their spots. Leniu was insane in the 30-odd minutes that he played in game 1, gives a bit of oof off the bench.
Yeah. Is Turbo going to play 30 minutes again, or Jake T, that is?
Yeah, I don't think that was the plan. You go down to 12 men. I don't think it was a plan to have your captain play 29 minutes. He should be playing 50 odd, I would think, and at club level shows that he can play 70 plus all the time. Hudson Young, the unlucky man,
misses out. Yep, as we mentioned.
Yep, I think Olakwatu just a bit too good this year so far.
Yeah.
Mitch Barnett, Cam McInnes and Keary were the reserves. Keary played on the weekend, obviously got released to go play, and Mitch Barnett's still awaiting his Origin debut. I do feel for Cam McInnes.
Actually, I have thought of someone. What about Matt Burton? He kind of missed out
he
went
from 18th man to out of the squad.
Yep.
Again.
Could have played in the centres.
Yeah, they could have
maybe give him a go in the halves.
Yeah.
Doggies haven't been too bad. There's sixth on the table, as we mentioned.
I think Burton's really good. Gives you an extra kicking option as well. I would have had him still in the squad and saying, but yeah, Birdo, you're a New South Wales Blue, and we want you around the boys here, rather than bringing Kiri in to have him get released to then go play on the weekend. I would have had Birdo, I think. But yeah, I think Mitchell's been too good to leave out of the starting team. And you couldn't drop Lomax after his game one, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
Queensland, less changes, probably less to talk about. Reece Walsh gets through his 11 days.
Not based, but passed.
Stand down, Coates, Holmes, Hammer, Talangi, Dearden, DCE.
No changes in the 13, and really one forced change on Hopgood being injured with Kafusi coming in. And then I guess there was a lot of talk about Cobbo, but I think we were talking about it in game one. You could see his defensive effort. He really struggled to get back in the line, and then it's come out that he's been using pain injections to play, and he's been down for Brisbane. So I think, he's obviously playing through some niggles. He had his knee taped up as well at one point. So, he's probably playing through something sore in his legs, and it's obviously been hurting him mentally, is what Billy's been saying. And he kind of needs a bit of a break. So they've gone with that as the reason for leave him out of the side. I kind of, as I was telling you boys during game one, I thought the same. I was like, he was very good running forward with the ball, like when he could get at pace and hit it at pace. But his lateral movement and his defence trying to get back into the line he was definitely struggling.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense. He's been playing hurt.
Yeah.
Can't make those extra 110% efforts defensively.
So they bring in Capewell, which actually I think is a pretty good replacement there. Again, talking about versatility, did play the centres for Queensland, so he could add that coverage there, can play in the second row, needed probably a little bit bigger body. It was interesting because the talk about Cobbo actually played 13 as a young fella, so he had some background. So I think that's the role they expect Capewell to do is if no one gets injured in the back line, then you will so we don't have to shuffle and move in the centres. You'll play in the second row essentially and help with the rotation there. So I think that's a good selection there.
A little underdone, hasn't been back, but much like the New South Wales guys, and has been part of a winning team under Billy Slater before, so that probably plays into it.
Yeah, and go back to Kafusi as well. Played a lot of Origin, old head there. So
came in after 7 minutes in game 1 too. So essentially, not really coming in. Capewell for Cobbo is really the only the main change. Interesting, Gagai has 18th man there. So assuming that's if Walsh is no good to go.
Yeah, coverage. Yep.
Hammer one, Gag straight into the centres. And we know what that guy turns into when he plays for Queensland. So. And then a little bit of camp experience for Helim Lukey and Trent Liero, which both names surprising. I think Lukey will play a fair bit of Origin from what I can see. But yeah, Billy obviously thinking a few years down the track there probably.
Yeah, little dynamo, the juniors.
Obviously must win for New South Wales. It's going down the MCG.
Sold out?
Yep, sold out. I think it's 30 years as well. I saw something during the week, sent you boys of that Canberra Raiders dominated.
Yep, 94.
94, yeah. So 30 years that Origin's been going down to Melbourne. And must win. And she's just, for a game 3, come on, you Blue. come on. I don't want to be talking about a dead rubber going to Suncorp.
Yeah.
What have they got to do to get... to
grab us some odds as well.
Yeah, grab some odds there, Monks. What do the Blues have to do to win this game?
Ooh, it's almost dead even.
Have to score a lot of points.
Yeah,
it's going to be high scoring, I think.
Yeah.
Blues defensively, like game 1, we really found out.
I think they defended pretty well considering they had 12.
Yeah, that period from halftime to 65 minutes, I thought they defended well.
They had good periods where they had some structure. But I think the main thing is they didn't generate any points. Like they got to work.
That is true.
Yes, they had a man down, but you could overload a side essentially and have 6 on 6. Where's your structure? Where's your plays? Where's your points coming from? So that's what you want to kind of see out of New South Wales because you kind of saw it even as we talked in the last pod, just before the sin bin happened, you could see Queensland were starting to open up. They found some holes down the sidelines. They were making line breaks. Where's that coming from New South Wales?
Yeah.
Lack of X factor, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when Hammer has the ball and he's got on the outside shoulder of a centre or someone that's playing in the centres, it's not a centre. It's the scariest fucking thing in the world. And we saw that last week with that try that he scored, 100-metre effort against the Sharks. I don't think New South Wales has a player like that at the moment.
I think you're underrating Reece Ross as well. That bloke almost tore the league apart and took him to a grand final last year. So, I assume he's going to be in for a massive game. I think he'd probably want to get a little bit of revenge as well, having missed, only played 8 in the first one. So, we'll see if he can, cut up the New South Wales side at all.
And then I would say, on a name value basis, maybe the Blues have got an edge in their pack, but the way that Nane and Sewer have been playing as well, like I think Jeremiah Nane's on 11 tries for the year.
He's a freak.
I watch Sewer week in, week out for the Dragons, and he's been very, very good. So it's probably a push at best.
And I think that's what the odds, I think what was it, $1.93 for the Blues and $1.91 for Queensland.
Call it even Stevens.
Yeah, it's even Stevens. So, yeah.
Go the Blues.
Yep.
Action kicks off in about 72 hours' time. It's blinking. It'll be Wednesday night.